Okay, I want to say hello again, everybody. I'm speaking very quietly here because it's night time. Okay, it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've just watched two very inspirational videos I've been watching on YouTube, and I don't know if you probably can't see this. I'm not being soppy, but I actually just got some tears in my eyes there, a little bit. Got very emotional. I'm not going to burst out into tears, but I can get very emotional sometimes. And the first video I watched it didn't bring me to tears. One video I watched was a very good video, which was a compilation of various animators working in various 2D animating styles, and it showed various animations by various animators that have done some very creative stuff, and I like to see that because that's inspirational to see, because that's one of my passions in life, animation, and I really want to do things with my art and animation. I've always wanted to do that since I was young. But then the second thing I saw, okay, I know it sounds soppy, I know it sounds silly, but I watched a martial arts video about a Shaolin monk from the Shaolin temple, temple in China, a Chinese monk, and he'd been training in kung fu styles, various styles, and he was also learning the monkey stick, whatever, bow staff, gun, long stick, training a certain form or something. And obviously, as you know, as a lot of people know, in the Shaolin temple there are monks, they're Buddhist monks as well. So he had to, and he was going to have this test. This monk was going to have a test, and he had to demonstrate good kung fu skills in front of the other monks and his seniors or whatever. And there was another monk that was training him, an older brother, if you like, another sort of mentoring him, a guy teaching him, another monk, and he had to also recite Buddhist scriptures or something, read it out, and I just saw the video as, here we go again. I just thought to myself, it's going to be another one of these simple videos you get on YouTube, nothing major. I mean, it's beyond it now in this modern day. I've kind of almost given up. Well, it's not given up, but I mean, it's I don't want to say giving up hope, but martial arts are so deep, especially kung fu and traditional martial arts, and even me myself, I'm not a Buddhist monk, and I'm definitely far from any high level in arts such as what they were doing there, but I do believe in a lot of when it comes to any belief, I believe in peace and that, and obviously there's a lot of good teachings in Buddhism, even though I'm not Buddhist. I'm more fascinated by the Taoist or Taoist teachings that just follow nature, but they're very similar, and but I'm just saying, the monks, obviously, in Shaolin temple, they're known for their peaceful, ways and beliefs, and about self-mastery through kung fu and physical training, mental, physical, and spiritual, if you believe in that, training. And it's about the self, about finding self and ability through training and power over time. Mastery of the self over time, which is basically Gong Fu, which is what Gong Fu actually means, Kung Fu and Gong Fu, and basically, my life, I've been training martial arts for so long, for so many years, different kinds of styles, but I've just got various amounts of knowledge in the various systems, and to me, just Kung Fu has always been so deep. And as I've been growing older, I'm 36, I'm going to be 37 this year, but still every morning I do a full-on stretch workout. I do stretching. I could do more, but I do a stretch workout from for my whole body. Before I go to work or whatever I do, I'll be working out, and I keep that workout, very orientated towards Kung Fu, basically, martial arts. I stretch so that I will have some good ability, at least, to perform with you. I don't like this word perform, I mean execute the moves on various Kung Fu and a physical strength, and it does give you some strength, and balance and all that, and focus when you do stretching. It's good for the breathing, it's good for the endurance. There's a lot of working out and exercise, and you can go much more harder and deeper into training, and I could do a lot more to be more flexible and more stronger and all of that, and be a better fighter. But I don't train as hard as I used to in some ways, but as I've gotten older, because I've been training since I was 12 in the martial arts, and I've been, please excuse me picking my nose, I've been training in my physical martial arts, and then the philosophy and everything for all these years, and I've also taught people, in my early, let's say mid-20s, up through the years, up until now. I've been teaching people, groups of people, young people, between the ages, mainly, I've taught a couple of kids too, but mainly from the ages of, let's say, very late teens up to their early 30s. Okay, I'm teaching someone currently who's a couple of years younger than me, literally. I think he's 35, 34, 34. And but I teach humbly what I know, and it's just what I'm going to say is, especially excuse me, Kung Fu temples and things like that, where places which are sacred, for so many years, but to see people practicing the arts of Kung Fu, either at the Shaolin Temple, Shaolin Circuit, okay, at Henan, okay, in China, or when you see Wudang, okay, Wudang Shan, or Wudang, the different kinds of Kung Fu, when you see that people are still practicing there in this modern day, 2019, I'm making this video here, it's very, very moving to see that there's people still there, masters and younger people training up to be later masters, hopefully, it's very, very moving, providing the physical training is up to scratch and all the philosophies intact and everything. Kung Fu, okay, and martial arts on the whole, from which they say all martial arts sprang from, it's about self-mastery and being a much better human being, more fulfilled, more healthy on all levels, mind and body, in tune with harmony and nature. I mean, even arts like Tai Chi, okay, Tai Chi is also, so because it's that is like the embodiment of, in physical form, in an art form, and self-defense, and a method of keeping healthy and safe and all that stuff. The manifestation in the physical form, human form of through movement and all that, of the whole philosophy of yin and yang, yin and yang, which is basically what the Tao is based on. The Tao meaning the truth, the way of nature, the thing you can't put all words on, you can't put a name on. I mean, it's just absolute truth of balance and harmony, of purity, peace, with no idea, no human BS bullshit, no idea, no I'm on this team, I'm on that team, or how much money, anything about it. There's nothing. It's just total bliss through understanding nature. Yeah, there's different kinds of Kung Fu obviously and stuff, but Kung Fu's about that. What could be more important than keeping yourself healthy and safe? It's the same thing. Health, a healthy body, or a safe body where you're not getting hurt by someone's fist, or by a knife, or a car crash, or a disease, illness. It's all the same thing. It's protection of yourself, keeping yourself out of harm's way through either fighting methods, obviously, or wisdom, in life from whatever dangers you may face. You're not going to be invincible. You're not going to be Superman or invincible. But it's like, wise, safe, healthy, and stronger than the average person. And it doesn't mean you're always going to be stronger than another person, anyone else. But strong in certain ways, and stronger than the weak you that should not exist, because you're healthy. If you value your health, you'll not only maintain that, you'll try to keep a little bit of a level above that, push yourself a little bit further in life. Because if you don't, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you could always do with that extra push, right, or extra something to hold you up. And it's like, where is that? And where are those people? You sometimes don't have them, so you need to have that warrior version of yourself, almost like your best friend. We say that ourselves are our best enemy, but we should turn our enemies into friends, right? Quite emotional thing to say there. We should turn our enemies into friends by being the friend. We should use the peaceful way to avoid all fighting is wrong. Like, two wrongs don't make a right. Two same sides don't make. I can use any example there. You can get the mother and the father to make a child. I can use anything. So I'm just saying, right? Two people who don't want to apologise to each other, you're not going to get anywhere with that. So you need to have yin and yang, right? So you need to, if you feel weak and you feel strong, so you feel weak and you feel battered, and you feel you have nothing. The only way to overcome, there's a lot of challenges in life, but there's more than challenges and goals and fears, or trying to be brave, or trying to walk the path that some reason you've connected into your mind that you have to do. If you want to be free, first of all, you need to accept yourself. And the most thing you can't give up on is your life. You're alive. Your heart's still beating. Your body's working hard. It's pumping blood around your body every day. Respect and value that. By bringing the harmony together, right? By bringing the yin and the yang together, right? Bringing the strong version of you. Maybe in the physical, maybe you need a strong mind. Maybe you got a strong body. Maybe you need not a weak mind, but you need to have a calmness about you. It's not even about right, wrong, strong or weak. You have this calmness, flow of a healthy way to deal with things. If you want to drive a car, you've got to be calm. You've got to be calm, right? All this philosophy is true for real life. As I say, I like a lot of philosophy and stuff. Sorry to get deep in. I like to read. My favourite book, I say, is the Tao Te Ching. As I say, I don't do a lot of reading, but that is the absolute book for me. Okay, sometimes pronounced the Tao Te Ching, but it's the Tao Te Ching. Okay, by Lao Tzu. Okay, a very old philosopher, a very ancient philosopher. It's an old book written by him. And I'm just saying, okay, this is about finding truth, and you need to bring that strong you to give yourself a pat on the back, and turn your worst enemy, which is yourself, the biggest enemy, into a friend by being smart. Turn him into a friend, him or her into a friend, and then turn yourself into a friend if that ain't working. Be the opposite to balance the harmony of things out, you see. That's why they say that in Tai Chi, for example, you use a soft attack, a soft defense against a hard attack. So let it absorb and deal with that, rather than meeting face. Two hard sticks hit each other. One's going to break, or they're going to break. You know what I mean? You hit hard things too much, you end up hurting yourself. Things like that, putting unnecessary friction and pressure. So the truth is, in the martial arts, this is what you need to do. Don't give them what they want. Don't be a target for the enemy. Don't be in. So and don't be in that. Thus, don't be in the line of fire. So you've got nowhere for the enemy to aim, so to speak. You've got to be invisible and untouchable. They say the Shaolin man, right? Isn't it? It's a philosophy. Again, a Shaolin man is said to be able to walk through walls. Looked for, he cannot be seen. Listened for, he cannot be heard. Felt, he cannot be touched. Right? Whole philosophy again. So you may say, well, I'm not a Shaolin monk, or I'm not from the latest X-Men or Avengers movie hero. You are a human being. You can do far more. You can be far more amazing than that. You can value yourself. Too many people are looking far beyond to find themselves, or thinking about goals or things that are, it just seems so far from them. But the truth is, you are right here and you're successful. If you're not confused in yourself, there's no reason for you to be confused, but there's no reason for you to have the answers to everything, because the truth is there's no ultimate final answer to everything, because everything is always changing, and that's the flow of nature, and that's the flow of the Tao and Yin and Yang, and that's the beauty of it. You are always in a beautiful new moment of your life, and this is the whole story of your life. And while you're here as this energy existing here on this earth as a human being in the human form, whether you believe there's a spirit later on that goes into the afterlife or whatever, but we're here, and this is the thing. Yes, we have memories, yes, we have ideas for the future, yes, we can plan things, but don't be too rigid. Don't give over to one side. Be balanced and harmony. There's always got to be a true you that exists now, because if that you never exists now, what kind of you is there going to be in the future? It's going to be nothing. It's not going to exist then either. These are times that will never come, the future, and the past will never go back to it. We only exist to live now. It's not about trying to control others. It's not about asking other people to understand you. So I know I'm rambling, but this philosophy is so deep. And anyway, in the martial arts, it's what it takes. Okay, so you need to be your best friend. Get that to be the best supportive, like teacher and doctor. You can't get everything from everyone, but it's like, if you could have that, you're not going to have all the knowledge, but if you could try to be at least a better friend, mentor, motivator, carer, supporter of yourself, and as well as the enemy, as well as, I don't want to say enemy, but challenger as such. Always try to beat yourself, competition, but not beat yourself down. Like, use it as a training partner. It's like if you run with your friend every day and go running, and you have races or different things, or like a big brother or a big sister, and that person always does better than you, and you feel, oh damn, I can never beat them. Imagine if that person didn't exist to support you with a smile every day, and or something to aim for. Whoever that person is in the world, someone, it's not about beating them or beating yourself up for not being able to do better than them or than they expect, or expecting anything of yourself. It's just an enjoyable process of doing what you like to do. We get inspired. I get inspired by artists who are great artists, and I want to draw better. I see people do things and I think, I wish I could do better, but I never think about proving to people I wanted to do better. It's like, if those people weren't there, if there was no vision, if there were no mirrors, and if there was nothing around, if there wasn't a world of differences and people with different abilities, there would be nothing to see, there'd be nothing to inspire us, there would be nothing to let us understand. I wouldn't say shape us, but no way of us understanding our shape and how we are to happily shape ourselves. They said be formless and shapeless, like water, but it's finding the nature, you see. So we're all part of nature, but to find the nature of oneself and not lose touch with the whole nature, that's the thing. That's self-mastery. If you can't come to that enlightenment, that wisdom, that path to enlightenment and wisdom, there's no hope for you. And I think, and Kung Fu's always been a thing. Martial arts, especially Kung Fu, has been a method of focus. So, but I think it's just a magical thing. Anyway, sorry to babble, but when I watched that video earlier on, the video I was watching, in fact I still didn't finish watching that video, I'm halfway through it, but it was so motivational. And as I've been getting older, like, this is obviously 20 or so years almost older now, I'm getting older, I don't have the same energy in me and strength and flexibility that I used to have even, but I still work out, and I still do the martial arts, and I still teach people basic things. I teach Wing Chun, I still practice various Kung Fu and stuff by myself. But it's like, I know that I could push myself a bit further, and it's that boost you need from the mind and the body. Like, to see people that are still practicing Kung Fu like that, that's pretty inspirational. I know there's things like MMA and sport fighting which I don't support, I don't like all that, But true Kung Fu, you know, it's been made a mockery of. People look at it and laugh at it and all this, but true Kung Fu is real. True traditional martial arts is real. It's not all show either. It's a deep spirit, and then it's a way of fighting for self-defense. It's exercise, a lot of things. But there's more to life than Kung Fu. Kung Fu teaches you in a very powerful way to realise a lot more, I will say, potential of the human being. Experience of being a human being. And there's so much you can learn from it. It might sound crazy. You might say it's something that was made up by people, it was this and that. But it was based off studying nature, it was studying a lot of things, and it's definitely the highest, one of the highest forms I can think of, if not the highest, because there's a lot of different expressions and ways of Kung Fu, but the martial arts in general, and then Kung Fu, you know, it's just like, it's definitely one of at least one of the main highest levels of human, I don't know what to call it, practice for higher development of the self, because it's really focusing on true clearing yourself out, mind-wise, being in touch with nature, it's being as strong as a human can be without any distractions. And when I say being as strong as a human being can be, I don't mean necessarily being like these big bodybuilders, the world's strongest man, lifting up these massive tires and muscle and all that. I don't mean that. I'm just saying, or even being an invincible fighter. But I'm saying the essence of what it's all about. And there's so much knowledge too, and ability in those skills of Kung Fu and martial arts. Anyway, this is a very deep video, and it's random. I didn't imagine I'd be doing this video tonight or whenever. I didn't even know when I'd be doing a proper serious Kung Fu or martial arts video again. Recently I've been doing videos on my punch bag, and you'll see various training, and I've got a few videos coming up where it's like me doing some like kickboxing, a little bit of Kung Fu and karate in there, and Wing Chun and stuff. But in terms of flowing and stuff, and doing like my Wushu form, various Kung Fu, it's usually off camera now. I don't do so much, do I? And it's like, even in my free time, I'm just busy, my life, and but it's definitely something that I have to keep alive, and you can always learn more with Kung Fu too, and I think I owe it to myself and whoever, and if I can teach anybody, I'm very, very happy. I'll try to keep it up and teach whoever I can. I still teach martial arts to people face to face. I love doing private tutoring, teaching people too, and that. I don't know about online courses or classes. I don't know how to go about doing that right now. I like to teach groups. I like to teach individuals, especially. I do like to teach groups too. It's just what I know, humbly in what I do. I believe it can help a lot of people, and when you're in a fight, if it is self-defense, it's very, very useful too for anyone to learn some martial arts, even women, for self-defense. I've taught a lot of women as well as men. I've taught people, young people, college students and stuff, how to defend themselves, basic skills. I believe Wing Chun's a very, very good art. In Mandarin it's Yung Chun Chuan, as I say, Wing Chun. I teach that. From what I know, I have my own system as such, and I have a syllabus and various arts that I've learned over the years in different forms of Kung Fu, styles of Kung Fu and stuff. Karate, a bit of kickboxing in there too, a lot of different things. But I will try to make more videos when I can on martial arts in general, okay? Because it is what I'm all about in it as well, But yeah, I'm just saying, the main thing I want to say is the world's in a lot of chaos, constantly up and down. There's a lot of chaos all over the world. We've got protests, we've got violence, we've got young people just beating people up, innocent people. We've got all kinds of torture, kidnapping, raping, anger all over the world for all different kinds of things, protests and movements for this and that, people against each other, against themselves, against the world, against whoever, the government, whatever it is. You got everyone against everyone, gang bangers, criminals, all kinds of crazy stuff, violence in prisons. And God, it's a crazy thing to say, for me to say. I'm not even the toughest person at all, or some badass fighter, but it's like, for me to sit here and say the best answer is Kung Fu, it's like, what the fuck, excuse my language, it sounds crazy, right? So, but no, it truly is. True Kung Fu is deep, but I think the true way is to nature, coming into tune with nature, And Kung Fu and true martial arts is one path, one way of a very one hard and lifelong journey, but it's really is, but hard, long, but in a lot of ways peaceful and positive way of. It's a channel of getting. It's a path to connect to nature more and the true self. It's a focus of the self to keep less and try to keep more away from getting distracted by any negativeness that you see around you. Anyway, it's a deep talk there on martial arts, but the state of martial arts nowadays. I mean, not a lot of people are into Kung Fu, even people in China or anywhere. It's seen as just this thing that's done, but there's not so many Kung Fu movies anymore. It's not even popularised. It's just seen like some comedy thing. Yeah, you see fight scenes and stuff in different shows. I'm happy that Karate Kid was a good thing. Like they've been doing this Cobra Kai TV series based on karate and stuff, which is comes from Kung Fu and all that anyway. And there's a lot of martial arts true principles in there, and they do a good deal at trying to do the good fight scenes and the whole philosophy of martial arts. Good values, good positive pure values about being just righteousness as well, and logical nature, wisdom, true wisdom. But a lot of people nowadays will just see that as a bit of fun, bit of entertainment, and that's it, nothing more than that. And they'll just flip over and watch UFC and some MMA bloodfest with people beating blood out of each other, or some I don't know what, some other violence. People are more interested in violence, greed, whatever. They're just brainwashed by a lot of silly things now, and people are just unhappy in their lives. You've got people drinking too much, all kinds of things, taking drugs, smoking, going out, they're arguing, couples can't get along, families can't get along, nobody can get along. Anyone in a suit or police and stuff, people abusing their power, gangbangers abusing themselves and each other and just killing each other all the damn time. The violence towards everyone. Violence is not good for anyone. Men, women, couples, families, children, old people, everything. We're all one people, You've got people fighting all over the world and protesting about this and that. They want more and more and more and more and more. They want change, they want this, they want that. They're they're making themselves a constant slave to the world, or more bothered. They're more bothered about joining a movement, a group that's against another group. It's just for whatever righteous reasons whatever's going on in the world, they can't find peace in themselves. I say, if you've got a life, if you've got food on your plate, I've got to say this right again, if you've got food, if you've got a job, if you've got food, if you've got a roof over your head and you're just an average person, whoever you are, Kung Fu aside, I'm a normal human being telling you this, right? And this is what it's about. If you've got food, if you have a bed to sleep on, if you've got somewhere to live, you've got electricity, you've got the internet, and it's just modern day technology. There's a lot of stuff available to a lot of people. You go to the supermarket, you go shopping, you can cook, you got your washing machine, whatever, for your clothes. You've got a basic life. If you have a family now and children or whatever, and a loving partner, wife or husband, whatever, okay, and and you get money and you go on these holidays and you hang out and go to different places, and you've got a choice of what restaurant you're going to go to eat at and all this stuff. You may not be rich, but you have more than some people who are starving in the world. And yet you go out and you protest and rampage and all this, and you look for fights, and you pick silly scuffles or bicker with people at work or wherever about who's got more than me and all this, and the grass is always green on the other side. It's just so petty, it's so shallow. And I really believe that. Going out rioting and all this stuff, you see thousands of people all for different movements right now all over the world. That's not what it's about. That's not logical, that's not sane. It's absolute insanity, and this is young people that are just out of their minds. And the older people, you should be, setting an example. And it's man, if the government is treating you like crap, then at least be logical and respect yourself and your family. Just be more sane. Peace starts in the self, when you believe you're not a victim. It's not about fooling the self when the world's still treating you like shit and that, it's not about that. However, whoever is trying to oppress you, at the end of the day, you've got to learn that nothing matters except for self-sanity. We're living on this planet. You're not starving. If you're not starving, and if you've got water to drink, you don't have a gun pointed to your head, or getting tortured, you're alive. You can just go to work, mind your own business, go home, eat, sleep. You've got your computer, you can watch the internet, do some exercise, find a hobby, find some passion. Spend more time in educating your kids so they'll become better people of the world. Take care of them, be a good example to them. Don't say, I'm a fighter, I'm going to prove to my kids that's what you've got to do in life, fight. And when someone says something wrong, you've got to get into a fight. No, that's just teaching them cowardice and confusion, distraction from actually being free and actually being more productive. If we were more peaceful and we had an open mind and give ourselves moments and more time to actually relax and then to think about doing something productive, then we would be more productive. We'd probably make together as a collective world of individuals, we'd be able to make our neighbourhoods, our places more positive. So anyway, I was very, very moved when I saw that Kung Fu video there online. True focus in the self. And Kung Fu can help a lot of people, but it can exist, the spirit of that can exist in so many things too. I love art and I love drawing. I've got two passions. I love drawing, art and animation, and I love to do my martial arts. I love martial art. But nowadays I just do a bit of training when I do it on the side, and I wake up and do my stretching each morning. But I'm not like training for hours all day, working out and doing loads of martial art forms right now. I just can't because of my time, and I'm a bit older. But you can still train, and I think I should push it a bit harder and do more, because it's always going to be not only part of my life, but one of the deepest parts of my life. But for drawing, art, put a lot of time into that too. Occasionally I'll make videos. I make a lot of videos on the channel to keep up communication and things, and philosophy. But I like to make music on the side too sometimes, as you know, and have some fun. Now I'll talk to you again soon. I want to say a big thank you for watching this. Okay, I advise all people to learn some martial arts for self-defense, and I advise all people and health, and I advise all people to avoid violence and try to find passions and interests and things to keep you calm, and you'll find it so much easier and such more of a beautiful life. That's coming from my experience. I might not be an old man sitting here, but this old man, I learned this from my life experience. You may not listen to me now because I'm young, but when I'm an old man, you may look and you'll either say, people will either say, oh, this foolish old person, like another foolish old man, or he's a foolish old man or old woman. That person knows nothing, about the world or what it is nowadays, and how the world changes. We're still human, we're still human no matter what. It does apply, Your human brain and human mind and body should apply for as long as you're human. And then when I'm older, when I'm an old person, you may get people turn around and say, he's got some truth in what he says, he's got life experience. But I didn't get that experience. Like, if I'm going to be 85 years old, it doesn't mean that I got that experience on that day or on those 2 years. It may have been years ago, it might have been now. So I know what I'm saying now, this stuff I'm saying now, and how can that not be true? To me, I find it more easier, and you'll find the beauty in life if you have some focus to use any free time you get on something that interests you, that's not tied to other people's beliefs, what they want from you or expect of you, or this or that. None of that is important. You do not need to bicker and fight and struggle with the world and the confusions of the world. As long as it's getting better, right? We've got more and more technology, things becoming more and more accessible, information. so to speak, information. But I mean, whatever. I'm saying the internet, we got tech, we got all this stuff, and we've still got our humanness. So what do you need, man? You just need to eat, drink, have a bed to sleep on, electricity, a roof. If you've got other human beings around you, like family or your partner, just care for each other. Just understanding we're all human. If they care and take care of each other, if we do, then that's important. But it's like, that's all you can do. Eat. Everybody needs to eat, wash, go to the toilet, go to sleep, work out, do some exercise, keep healthy when you can, a little bit here or there. Keep some passions, interests, and things you like to do. And then when you have to go to work, you just go to work, and whatever money you're able to earn, you do, and you do whatever you can. But you don't need to break yourself and slave yourself off, to try to get more and more, like when you say, and just think about a number, or think about impressing people or competing with others. No way. Martial arts isn't about that. And the way to true improvement of the self doesn't always mean you compete with others. You compete with yourself to try to do better. You shouldn't feel better for effort that you've put in for yourself. You should feel bad for wasting time and energy on other people and negative stuff that brought you down. You should feel, hey, that shouldn't bother me. I'm alive. I'm a human being. I don't need to be doing that. You should think and feel, right, I feel bad about that. That's a reminder that I will do good. I will do better next time. I'll keep helping. This is the true wisdom of martial arts. You've got to have this understanding. You need to be clear, whoever you are, any age. And if you understand more of this stuff early, the truth, it's like balance. It's harder to lose when you understand it. If you know how to write your name, how can you forget that? How can you lose your balance when you know it? If you learn this early, things you learn early, like language, right? Same thing. Like anything you learn earlier, it will help you for the rest of your true life. So knowledge, wisdom, and the knowledge. This is what martial arts is about. So it's not just martial arts. I'm going to fight, or I'm going to do some funny show and act like a monkey. No, this is about true connection with nature. The true meaning, the true being, is the essence of being a more with it human being, on that path of nature. It's like you was on the train tracks and you just disconnected from the rails, and you've just ended up somewhere in the desert or something. Hey, you've got to get back on track, so to speak, because you're never gonna see more of the scenery, so to speak. You're never going to be in an experience that has been given to you, which is a life. You can't, we don't know how long we're going to live, but you can extend that time more. It's not going to rush. You're not going to run to the end. If you try to, you can't waste it on crap, because later on you'll regret it. And if you get into all this fighting and stuff, you might end up hurting yourself, or getting yourself hurt, or hurting others. You may end up crippled, blinded, killed, whatever could happen. So you need to take care of yourself. Avoid danger, avoid things that are bad for you. Don't just go out drinking every night because your friends do, or smoking, or taking drugs because you think it's hip, or it doesn't matter. Nothing matters today. I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll change one day. When you say things like that, that's cowardly to yourself. That's being a slave to people. Oh, the world's so fucked up. I don't give a shit. Excuse my language. When you say things like that, nobody gives a fuck, and you just join a gang or something. That's just cowardism. And then you become a slave to them, because you better follow the rules, right? Otherwise you get your brains blown out or something. There's always people out to get you. It's like you just run around like with the wolves, That's not a smart way to hunt. It's not like a starving man in the forest and the only thing he can eat is wolves' meat. And what are you going to do? Run around with the wolves? They'll eat you first. Be smart. If you want to take it back to the ninja times, ancient ninjas in Japan or whatever, they were smart because they did things stealthy. And they were smart and wise, and they got things done. You don't run in head first to certain things, Like one of those old sayings, don't jump in the water. If you want to see how deep the water is, don't jump in with 2 feet. You want to see how important your life is, don't start doing some crazy stunt, taking selfie pictures through a phone off some high building, you may think that's living the life. On the edge, man, take some risks, because you've seen some guy with a funny hairstyle do it on there who's doing really well, a YouTuber. Well, YouTube didn't exist years ago, quite a few years back, not too many years back. How many years? 10, not even 20 years ago. So in the future, you know, there can be other things too. Like, life is here. Be wise, be smart. Don't look back on your life and say, damn, I lost all my limbs, I lost half my face, I lost all my friends, I lost everything. Whatever you lose, if you don't lose yourself, lose your mind, you don't lose your health, your safety, your humanity, you still keep yourself intact. You know, that's what I'll say. And use some tact and keep yourself intact. And hopefully you'll live a longer life and a healthier life. Safer life. Be wise. You know, don't end it all. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't help the world to beat you up, or help the world to make you live a certain way. That's not freedom. Kung Fu is about freedom. It's a true lot. So when I'm watching these videos here about Shaolin monks and stuff, but we're human beings. That's what we are. We're all people in the world. So you can pray to God or whatever. Some people are religious, and whatever it is, whether you're religious or whatever you are, still, it's all your action and your mind. The way to be truly at peace is to just be peaceful. Let peace into you, and then you'll flourish with peace in whatever you do. Your heartbeat is strong, in it. It's keeping your body alive, but it's peaceful inside of you, and the life is here. Sometimes if you keep quiet, it'll be like you're very stealthy. You know, it's like people didn't even know you were there, but you was a true being, life force. You was like there, you know. You could get so much done. Surprise people and inspire people with some real good creation and artisticness about what you can do. Not to try to manipulate people and get their attention, but it's like, do certain things because you enjoy it. Do what you do. Just be yourself. Don't bother people. And a lot of people will be inspired by you because you're doing something different. A lot of people are not doing. You're unique, and you may inspire them to find more of their true potential too. And if you can do that without even putting in effort to try to do it, it's like you're doing magic basically, and you'll see your world start to flourish around you. And you may not, don't wait for it, don't even pay attention to it, don't get distracted. You may say, why not make the world my attention? Why focus on myself? That's wrong, isn't it? But no, it isn't. Focus on the self. You are one of the bricks in the wall, let's say. You've got to plant that brick, lay it carefully, right? So that you can build the thing up, right? So every individual's got to be taken care of, placed with care in the movement, in the being of this life that, you know, that carries this whole generation after generation, you know, of humanity along. If we are to survive as a human species, so why the heck we all against each other and against yourself? Because the government, because of whoever's running the country or whatever the hell, and someone said this, someone said that. Come on now. If you have a home, you have a bed to sleep on. I'm saying really literally, if you have a bed to sleep on, you've got food. What was you eating today? You've got a roof over your head. You spend so long looking in the mirror, doing your fancy hairstyle and funny clothes, and we've got to buy the name brand stuff and all this, and drinking out and getting into fights with people or whatever it is. All that stuff. That's nothing. Getting a tattoo with someone's name on, it means something now, but think about your life on the whole, man. On the whole, you may like to have some kind of style about you and what you like, but don't be a slave to weakness. Find truth, you know. Find truth. Find what's reality. You've got food, you've got a roof over your head, you may even have a loving family, maybe a partner, maybe children. Focus on those children, because the world's a mess, right? Focus on them. You can't change everybody else. Are you going to spend more hours to try to fight all that, to make it? You said to make the world better for them. They are going to make the world in the future. No matter what, they're not going to be manipulated by them. If each and every parent puts in their best effort to try to teach their kids well, you know. Anyway, so teach them, you know, to be true and not be distracted by confusion. You know? find what's real, take care of them. You don't need to be out on the street chucking rocks through people's windows and setting fire to things and beating up people to get your message that you want a better world, better this and that. Because you know what, there's people that don't have water. Same, I don't care what it is, whoever you are all over the world. I don't care if you're, gangbanging people, people that have been in prison or not. I don't care what you've been through in the past even. There's always a chance to do better. I don't care who it is, whether you're fighting for the government changes or whatever the hell it is. We're all humans standing on it. We're human beings on this ball in space, in this world. There's more to that. Or the name brand trainers or some chains around your neck and all that. It's not what that's about. It's not what you're about. Come on now, you've got a life as a human being. You've seen people how they get old and how they look different as they get older and losing hair out of their head and stuff. Don't lose your sense, man. That's like, you talk about people having a gold spoon in their mouth. You talk about people privileged. You talk about the idiocy of other people and how people want to shove it in your mouth or take from you. You play into all that. A lot of people do. You should come back to the truth and say, I'm just going to give myself, I'm just going to find happiness in myself. I accept myself totally. So what, someone gives you food on a gold plate and you feel that's good now, I'm the same as everybody because everybody else has gold plates. It wouldn't make a difference if it was a wooden plate. I'm being honest, right? I'm not saying you should live in a mud hut when everybody else has proper housing. I'm not talking about homeless people. There's people that are crippled out there as well. Blind people with cancer, people with all kinds of illnesses and things. I'm not talking about people that are homeless or dying or they've got no water. I'm saying if you're living in a world, in a country, a more developed country somewhere, you've got an apartment, a home, you've got clothes, you've got a washing machine, whatever it is, you've got a car, a motorbike maybe, car or whatever, you've got a place to stay, you've got a choice of where you're going to move next, you've got some kind of education, some kind of degrees, whatever it is, or a chance to go to study, you've got family backup, family to support you, friends around you, you're not facing a death or a danger as such necessarily, you've got people that support you, friends, brothers, sisters, whatever it is, or maybe nothing, but you've got your own place and you've got your desire and focus to fight on, you've got food, literally food. I'm saying what you ate today. I don't care if it's McDonald's or if it's home cooked food, a sandwich, whatever it is. Some people have got nothing and you're moaning and protesting and rioting. You're looking for what? Looking for yourself. You want more? What? You want control stuff? What's wrong? You're lost, distracted. You've got water, you've got stuff to drink, you've got a roof over your head. When some people are outside sleeping in the pouring rain because they've got nothing. Some people are in the desert with their bones sticking out and they wish for rain. So, Kung Fu's a good way to, discipline yourself and focus. But again, why do we need discipline? That's another thing. It's like we should be absolutely understanding, first of all, that life should not be a war to find peace and find a way to come back to the self. How far did you leave this? How could it be? You're right here. Everything could be better if you put that negative stuff to the side and say, it doesn't matter because the bad stuff is bad for me. It wastes my time. It distracts me. You wouldn't want to be conned out of money from your job for like 1 extra minute, right? You worked hard for that money for 5 minutes extra work. People complain about this stuff, but you don't worry about wasting a bit of time or energy in your time for worrying about this and that and all kinds of negative stuff. You could free your mind up and get more life and get more time and focus on doing something good. And if you can't, or even just getting more rest or getting more sleep even, exercise of the self. You've got action and then you've got non-action. They can both be a product. That's both doing something. When you do nothing, it doesn't mean you're not doing something as such. You don't need to be everywhere and out there on billboards and having everybody agree with you or bowing to you. You don't have to have all that because everybody else is getting it. You've got to get it. you're following everybody around because you feel, oh, I've been treated unfairly, be smart. Because people didn't used to have the stuff they got nowadays. People, you know, and things always change. You've got to understand yourself and free yourself. And stop living in a delusion, you know. Thanks for watching this. Thank you very much.